Today on the Magic for Life podcast, we're honored to have Lance Bachmann. He is the digital marketing expert and founder of one of the country's leading digital marketing firms, One SEO. Lance is also the co-founder of Shock I.T support and the former vice president of AT&T. I'm excited for you to hear his story, so let's cue the intro and we'll jump right in. I've spent the last 20 years studying, teaching, and coaching people to find their greatness and take their lives to the next level. Along the way, it's become evident that emotions are at the root of everybody's successes and failures. Worry and fear are the enemies, and it's time to forge the armor and earn the tools to overcome the two things that could single-handedly destroy your future. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson, and I'm a life coach, a peak performance trainer, and I'm the emotions guy. It's time to take back control of how you feel, control of how you act, and control of how you experience life. It's time to become a lifer, a new breed of overachiever focused on living every minute to its fullest. We are responsible for how we feel, and no one and no thing can make us feel anything. Emotional mastery is our journey, and emotional education and intelligence is the key. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life. What's up, lifers? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life podcast, and we're excited today to have the great Lance Bachmann. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're awesome, man.
How you doing, Michael? Nice to see you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm excited to share with our audience about you and let them learn about you and find out all the amazing things you guys are up to and the things you're doing to serve all the entrepreneurs and businesses out there. You guys are doing some amazing things. So let's jump in. First and foremost, the most important thing, you're a Star Wars fan.
Huge Star Wars fan. Huge Star Wars fan. Luke Skywalker is my favorite character. Well, Han Solo is my favorite character because of his swag.
Oh,
Luke
yeah.
Skywalker's mindset is my favorite.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You're one of your things on your bio said you had a talking, gliding R2-D2 in your office.
I do. I have R2-D2. I used to have the Millennium Falcon hanging from the ceiling. They made me take it down for the den. So everything's out there, but I love Star Wars. I think you get a lot of life lessons out of Star Wars.
So what's the best one? What do you think is the best movie?
I think Empire Strikes Back is the best one by far. I don't think there's even a second to that one. But.
Well, okay. Second only to that is, and we're going to talk about all the other stuff you've been doing, but some of the fun things that I learned about you in researching and getting to know you is you had 14 brothers and sisters.
Yes, my mom and dad had 9 together, and my dad went on to have 5 more. He was a Rolling Stone, they'd say.
Holy moly. 14. That's a ton. That's a huge family. It makes for family reunions that are ridiculous. I thought for a second maybe you were from Utah.
Oh, no. We have a small office in Utah, but beautiful place. Beautiful, beautiful state. My mom had 9 kids with my dad. My dad left when I was about 1 and a half. And he met another woman, had 5 more kids. And hey, listen, it is what it is, but we love having all the brothers and sisters. I'm the most blessed man in the world. I might have grew up with no money, but I grew up with the best brothers and sisters anyone could ever ask for.
That's awesome. I mean, you've had quite the journey, and I'd love to hear about it from your take on it. We want to hear about your backstory and kind of how you started off. I mean, your journey to get to the point where you were the vice president of AT&T was ridiculous, but then to go on and do all the stuff you've been doing so far is amazing. So why don't you tell us about it and give us some idea of your background from the beginning?
Well, I mean, my background from the beginning, I grew up poor. Obviously all those kids are going to grow up poor, but foster care systems, group homes, my mom always came back. I always say the one thing I had the utmost respect for my mom. My mom's one of the strongest women you'll ever meet. She never broke. Some people might say, my brother's she's crazy. Well, you'd be crazy too if you had a bunch of kids and the state kept taking them away and you had an abusive husband and yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to get too much into that, but, I look at it this way. I look back at my childhood where most people are like, oh my God, I feel bad for your child. I feel like I had the most blessed childhood in the world. I had the most incredible brothers and sisters that went through so much together. And there's a bond that people can't break. I'm not saying everything's perfect with my brothers and sisters, but I take my brothers and sisters versus any other family, and I'm proud of every one of them. And it's just, and then I, like anyone else, I went around the world got in trouble, trying to figure out being a kid, what's right, what I want to do. And I fell in love with advertising. And, my first job, Jeff Cartwright hired me, Donnelly director, and it was lights out after that. I love marketing. I love digital marketing. I think there's nothing better in the world than it.
To move into a position like a vice president's position, I mean, that's high up the corporate ladder. How did you manage to work your way through that, all the way from starting from Verizon to work your way into such a high-ranking corporate position? That's not an easy feat.
No, it's not. But I mean, I look at it differently. So I actually had a gentleman at Verizon that passed me over for a promotion when I was a district manager there, because he said I spoke with a slur and I couldn't public speak well. So he said, you need to have that as a leader. And my phone rings, yellowpages.com, AT&T, they're recruiting me for a position. Neil, who I'm still great friends with today, Salvage, hired me and helped groom me. And so Danny Deal there helped me speak better, helped me talk better. They saw the raw talent and they helped harness it. And I've been very fortunate my whole life. I've had great people invest in me to make me better. And so I'm so blessed, So that's how it happened. My journey was, if you love what you're doing, you're passionate about it, and you enjoy it, and you're damn good at it, you're probably going to be successful. So I just kept getting promoted. My CEO, Charles Stubbs, who I'm still good friends with today, kept promoting me, who I love today. I had the honor of meeting Ray Wilkins, if you know who he is, one of the biggest names in our industry, just the corporate world, top 10 most powerful African-American men in the country, Tiger Woods board. He promoted me. He loved me. So I've been fortunate that I've had great people that really took a liking to me and knew I would outwork anyone. I'd sleep in the office and they'd see it, and I would get up in my shower, would be in the bathroom with a bar of soap over the sink. I didn't blink it. I knew once I broke into corporate America and I saw the money you can make, I knew I would never, ever, ever not outwork everyone.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's nothing like a good work ethic to lead you to the end prize. Now, you went from being the vice president of AT&T and doing this. First of all, that was an amazing thing to do in the first place. But then you decided to go and do a startup with your sister. How in the world did you make that decision to go from that to doing a startup? That seems like a really hard decision to make.
There's a lot of things. I was living in California, full transparency. And while I love California as a state, so my good friends live there, I hated it there. It wasn't for me. At the time, my brother just passed away, who was a big influence in my life. He OD'd on drugs. To be honest with you, I was miserable out there. Towards the end of my career at AT&T, I was miserable. I saw a lot of things in corporate America as I kept climbing the ladder I didn't like. A lot of politics, a lot of bureaucracy. Not taking the customer first was a big one. As much as their core value is customer first, that's not the case always in corporate America. And that's not sit there and bash. I mean, I understand when you scale, you got to put things in different buckets and adhere to them. But I called my sister up. I called my mom up, said, I'm coming home. I flew home. My brother Fred had his first son, Joey, at the time, who I fell in love with. And I knew I didn't want to have kids and be out in California. And those things like, impacted me. My brother dying, my brother having kids. I wasn't happy. And I just knew I could build. I mean, you build enough things in your lifetime. It wasn't a matter of what would one SEO become. It was a matter of, how big do we get? How good are we going to be? I never worried about making it. That was never a fear of me not surviving in business. I knew with the way I worked, I know I'm one of the best digital marketers in the country. I know the product. I knew I'd have a business. I wasn't worried about that. And I got so much business acumen from AT&T, where I had guys like Patrick Cadella, Bill Clenny, Charles Dobbs, Danny Deals teaching me business and understanding why we're making decisions. They didn't shelter me out from those decisions. So, I mean, I've been very blessed, Michael, very blessed with the people in my life.
It's interesting because as I listen to you talk, there's a correlation between the successful people and the ones that are making it. And one of the correlations is your attitude towards being blessed and being grateful for what you've gotten, even though it sounds as though you've had challenges along the way and you've had setbacks and things that maybe for other people have maybe destroyed them or taken them out of their position of being able to move forward. But you've found a way to think better about it and to be able to change your mindset. was that from somebody, or was that just, you just have always been that way, or did you learn it from somebody?
You know, I think my mindset changed as I got older. I had a lot of anger in me as a kid. I grew up very poor. I went to a very wealthy high school. Everybody had money, and I resented everyone. You know, and even though I had friends there, the only real friends I probably had was Seth Dunn, Mike Ortman, were probably my only true friends. Rich Moeller, a few, and you grow up with resentment. And as you keep finding success, I'm like, I don't need to resent people. I don't need all these experiences have made me better. Everything that, you know, I thank, you know, a gentleman that fired me from Yellow Book. And people are like, oh, you don't have resentment. No, because that gave me, when I was 25 years old, when he fired me, a wake up call, right? 26 years old. That my journey began again. And I'm not afraid of failure. So I think that's a big thing. People stumble and fall, and they hear other people talk about them and they feel humiliated. When people talk about me and they say bad things about me, I feel good about it, because I'm like, at least I'm on your radar, right? Like, I'm on your radar. So that says, because you're not on mine, right? Because I don't
Yeah.
have hate. I want everyone to be successful, you know? I'll give you an experience. I was away. Someone took a shot at me on Facebook about wrestling club, right? So the gentleman had words this Saturday. I'm like, but you're not even on my radar. I feel bad for you, because you're looking at me, and this isn't my primary thing I do, but people hate success. People hate winners. People want you to fail. That's the majority of people. But you will find some great people out there that want you to be successful and want you to do great things. And I'm fortunate, you know, my sisters, my brothers, my mother, a lot of my close friends, they're proud of me. They're my biggest cheerleaders. And, you know, that's what I look for, you know, and my wife is my biggest cheerleader. So, yeah, my mindset is glass is always half filled, not half empty. I've never had that attitude. I see my sister Janine, she fights the biggest medical challenges, and she's the happiest person in the world. She's never had a bad day, and this woman has every right to be mad at the world. And she is, like, she's an inspiration. Like, there should be a TV show about her and what she's been through, and to have such a positive attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing because that attitude and that perspective, I mean, that had to have come top down. I mean, you mentioned your mother earlier, and it seems as though that's something that not just you but your siblings got as well.
I think my mom set the tone for a lot of people that she doesn't get credit for. You know, I've seen people will say, well, your mom was an alcoholic. She was. My mom did abusive things. She did. But my mom always kept coming back and trying to get better and better and better. And she loved her children. And she still does today. Listen, no one's perfect. I tell people that. People make mistakes, but we live in a society now where people want to fry people and torch people instead of saying, you did 99% of this great, but the one thing you did bad, I'm going to fry you. My mindset just can't go there. I'm sorry, it just can't. Like, I'm proud of my mom. I love my mom. I'm proud of every one of my brothers and sisters. They're all good people. And I just think when you see so much adversity, you're just set up for success wherever, for everything else. Like, I've always said this to people, when you're getting ready to quit, I'm just starting. Like, but that's really my mentality. And I teach that to all four of my sons. If you have that, you're gonna do great things.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, they say that quality of our life is the quality of our communication, not just to our, you know, outside people and what you say to other people, but what you're saying to yourself as well. And I mean, just listening to you, it seems as though you've figured out how to communicate with yourself so that you can stay positive and you can stay moving forward and pushing hard. What is it that you say to yourself to keep yourself going? Like, what's going on inside your mind
You
to
don't
keep
want to
you
know
going?
what's going on inside my mind. Trust me, no one does. No, my wife would say that's the wrong question to ask him. My brothers and sisters would tell you the same thing.
Uh,
They're like any true entrepreneur. You know, my son said something to me the other day. My son Greg, he's 5. He said, Dad, I'm trying to do it, but my mind's seeing the next thing and the next thing, and it's going so fast. My whole life has been that. My mind's moving at 100, 150 miles per hour. I'm doing one thing to the next to the next. People are like, do you ever get tired? No. So my mind isn't the normal mind that's out there working. And I know that, and that's okay. I mean, some probably would say I need prescription meds, right? Because it's just constantly going, going, going. My son Greggy will never take prescription meds because I know he can control it as he gets older. Right now, he just can't. Does that make sense? Because he's so
yeah.
young, he doesn't understand it's not a problem. It's actually a great thing. It's going to make
Yeah.
you separated from everyone else. So I think that's a big thing. I think, you know, the mindset of winning. I think I have the mindset of, I think when I was younger, I had very, very, very big insecurity issues. I didn't think I was worthy enough, being very, very transparent. Um, Now, like, there isn't anything I don't believe I can't do. That I don't think I can go into a ring with a 22-year-old MMA guy and win. I think he'd snap my neck like a twig, right? So you have realistic context, right?
Right.
But I think I can learn anything now. I know I deserve to be in the room with anyone, whether it be the president of the United States, a senator, or a trash man, but not there's anything wrong being a trash man, or a homeless person, because I've seen all of it and back. And I know I'm good enough to compete at any level, whatever I want to compete in.
Yeah. When when you were in those points when money wasn't working out or when it wasn't coming in, and when you were just trying to move it forward, you what was it that you did to keep your emotions in check? Because so many people just their emotions run wild and take advantage of them essentially. But what did you do to keep those things in check when things were going poorly?
You know, everyone wants to say it's what you did. It's not what you did. I have a great support system. Once again, I'll give you an example. My brother Fred, 11 years ago, will never forget this. I was on an LA Fitness treadmill next to him up in North Wales, and I just talked to him for an hour. Neither of us ran, and I was just talking to him about, listen, I don't have much money. I got to keep, and like, and he's like, you're gonna be fine. You've always done it. My sister, so like, there's these moments in times, these snapshots, you know. My brother Joe would be like, just keep doing what you're doing. Greg, it's your support system. Talk to him, understand it. Your mindset is everything. If you think you're not going to do something, I promise you, you won't do it. If you think you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And I just always say to myself, I'm going to do it. We're going to acquire new customers. We're going to keep our customers. We're going to make sure people are happy. We're going to do the best we can. And that's just how I live. And, you know, when you're starting out in a business, you're not going to have money. You're not going to have everything be great. You're not going to have a bunch of referrals coming in, but that means you got to go out and pound the payment. You got to outwork everyone. You got to have the right, enjoy it, because I miss those times. I don't get to talk to customers as much as I used to. And I miss some of my customers, talking to them every day, because they're great people.
Yeah, for sure. When you talk with people, I mean, I'm sure that even though you don't get to work with the customers one on one, you guys are huge, but I'm sure you have people that are.
We're huge for a digital agency, not for a regular business. We're
Well,
very small, mid-sized. But for an agency,
right.
yes, we're one of the
Yeah.
bigger and better ones in the country, no doubt.
And you have people that look to you as being a mentor, and so as you are working with them to teach them how to control their worry and their fear, how do you get that across to them? How do you get that message across?
I'm transparent. I treat everyone the same. You know, there was a woman in here today with her daughter. They own a landscaping business, concrete business in Trenton, New Jersey. And I got a chance to meet them. Great people. They do $500,000 a year in business. That's it. But that's in our wheelhouse, taking a small business and turn it into a multi-million dollar business. I gave her the plan, but we didn't just talk about marketing. I said, listen, you got to go get this EDL money right now. It's still available. She said, why would I take that money? I said, it's $150,000 over 30 years at 3.75%. That's just business 101. You take that money, it's going to help you grow your company right now.
Yeah.
So we're more than just a digital marketing agency here, I tell people. And I obviously, I own Shock I.T and an IT company. I try and give people the best business advice, right? You know, I told her immediately go out and buy yard signs for every job she's on. Put those yard signs up. She'll get the neighbors. 25 years in business, this woman, she's never had a yard sign. So there are the things that I think would separate us. We care. I know I care. I care about every one of my clients more than anything in the world. There's nothing I wouldn't do to help them be successful. And I think that's why we've grown. And that's why I would tell anyone listening to this, if you think you're just going to take people's money and do the bare minimum, that's short-lived. But if you do the right thing, care about people, build relationships, your business is going to flourish. And people just miss that part of it. People want to do business with people they like and don't care.
Yeah, it's about that authenticity and even just looking at your branding and when people go visit your site and they visit what you're offering, they'll see that authenticity. They'll see that you guys are real with what you're doing, and it clearly starts from the top down in all the organizations. You can see when the organizer loves what they do and loves the people that they work with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing an LB shirt right now. Like, I'm very proud. Like, people's like, oh, you did that for your ego. No, I'm proud of my last name, Bachmann. Like, I am proud of who I am. I am a very proud man. If you want to call that arrogant, okay. I call it confidence, you know. I am who I am. Like, I don't walk into a room and ever not be proud of who I am and what I've done and what I've achieved. And no different, I'm proud of my brothers that are great fathers and my sisters that are great mothers. So success is defined differently, right? And I said to people, I just love business. I love digital marketing. So a lot of my, I'm going to call quote unquote respect comes from that, which is why you're interviewing me, right? But I also rather have more respect for my wife, who looks at me as a great father. Does that make sense? And that's where like the balancing act is. So I don't look at just the business world of people should be measured by success. I look at my brothers and sisters that are great mothers and fathers and do incredible jobs with my nieces and nephews. Like it's amazing. Just I think that's where the focus should be also.
Oh yeah, for sure. We love to do this thing at the back end of our podcasts where we do like a speed round, and I love to talk about emotions because oftentimes when the people that are looking to us to lead us, sometimes it's easy to think that the leaders aren't experiencing the same things that they are, and so it's fun to be able to come back in and go, okay, these are the emotions that are going on behind the scenes, and you don't always get to see them, but they're there. So the go-to emotions, basically, I'll give you a category, and when things are going well, you have an emotion that goes with it. When things are going poorly, you have a limiting emotion that goes with it. So we'll just go through and go quick through
All right.
these things. All right.
All right. Yep.
So first category is business. When things are going well, what's your go-to emotion?
Static.
Nice. When things are going poorly, what's the limiting emotion?
Probably more. I'm gonna say that's a hard one because things don't normally not go too well. But when things aren't going well, it depends. If it's a human mistake and it's been repeated over and over again, anger.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
I start getting pissed. If it's a general honest mistake, it is what it is. I shrug it off and move on.
Yeah.
Financially, we've never had in 11 years a bad year, or 12 years now. We've grown even in this pandemic. We're going to wind up growing this year over year. So
Nice.
that's after a major hit we took back in early March. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think frustration would be a good word.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, and partnerships. When things are going well, what's your go-to emotion?
Great, awesome,
And
static.
when things are going poorly, what's the limiting?
I mean, once again, you'll work through it. I mean, I have two great partners. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I mean, you can't have the ups without the downs. So you got to be consistent with that. And, you know, my partner, Sam Zeitlin's one of the best men you'll ever meet in your life. My partner, Scott Van Casney's one of the best men in your life. And not everything we've lost money. We've made money together, the three of us. And I've never changed my feelings about either one of those two at any point in time because I know the support they have for me. So that's not even an option.
Yeah, for sure. So how about in coaching? When you're the coach, and I know you coach your kids in sports, but you also coach people in business. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you're at. People look to you to coach them. So when things are going well and when you're coaching, what's your go-to emotion?
I'm happy for the person that's having success. I'm very happy for them. It's not about me. It's about them. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah. And when things are going poorly?
I feel bad for them. I feel sad for them because I want to see everyone be successful, whether it be me coaching my kids or my nephews or some kid I don't even know, or whether it be a business owner. I want to see everybody have success. I'm a true, how do you say it, optimistic. I want everyone to be successful, and I don't hate on anyone. This is America. I hope everyone makes millions, man. There's so much out there to take and have success. Go out there and have fun with it.
Yeah.
I feel sad. I'd say sad for that person.
How about in the category of relationships or your relationship? When things are going great, what's your go-to?
With my wife?
Yeah.
Date night.
Nice. I love it. And when things are going poorly, limiting.
How do I get back to date night? How do I get back to date night? I want to get back to date night.
I love it. I love it. And your kids, when things are going well, what's your go-to emotion?
I've never felt nothing but happiness for my children, no matter what the situation is in love, unless one of them are being hurt. Like my son cracked his head open. He hurt his neck. Like my one son has a bad eye. So there, I feel actually that emotion, because that's probably the next question, things aren't going well, is probably insecurity on my end. I feel like I let them down. So that's the worst emotion I've ever felt in my life, is when it comes to seeing my children like that. But I love being around my children, happiness. I mean, that's the best feeling in the world.
That's awesome. Well, Lance, I know you're so busy, and I know you've got a lot on your plate. So I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us and share your story. I'm excited for our audience to be able to learn more about you, because you guys are doing some really amazing things. And but I want to give you a shot to tell everybody about what you're doing with One SEO and the Den, and just all the stuff that you're doing, because they need to hear about what you're up to.
One SEO, we're a digital marketing agency. We're growing. We help businesses grow their business. We help get leads, build their brand, e-commerce, e-commerce. And on the Den, I'm loving it. We're producing great content. We're interviewing great people. It's been very, very good for me mentally. It's been great for me and my organization with building our brand, right? I couldn't be happier with everything we're doing here as a company. We can always get better. We're going to get better. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to keep leading the way. But, I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in. I love what I do every day. So it doesn't get much better, Michael, than that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us. We'll put in all of Lance's links and all the ways you can find your way back to him and all of his great people and his great organization. And we sure appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Nice job.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
All right. If you need anything, let me know. And I guess in case you'll work out when it airs and everything, I'll make sure I share it everywhere for you.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No problem, Michael. Thank you.
Take care.
Hey, lifers, don't forget to get your free copy of the Every Minute book. You can find it at everyminutebook.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.